Broadcasting from the World Conference Center in Bonn, Germany, Solutions Review is on location at the FME User Conference 2023, the peak of data integration. Brought to you by Safe Software and Terra.
Hi, it's Doug Atkinson here in Bonn, Germany at the peak of data integration conference with two guests who are really working to change the world. And I mean that, Jan Bliki from the European Environmental Agency and Ulf Månsson from Sweco.
Yeah, that's correct.
Thanks for being with us.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, and I mean it. I mean, you guys are doing some really interesting things with data for the EU to improve basically our environment. Talk a little bit about the project, the partnership, and then we'll get into what you're doing here.
Sure. So yeah, I can start.
Sure.
Jan Bliki, I'm head of group for data management in the European Environment Agency, and shortly also deal with the IT department in the EA. And we are basically collecting a lot of European data sets from 28 different countries in Europe that are being brought together as European data sets for writing actually environmental reports in the EA, European Environment Agency, that is then spread out in Europe. And we are using FME a lot. It's our backbone basically that handles all the data conversions, manipulations, cleansing that is coming towards us. And of course, I'm quite good in FME, I think, but I need experts like Ulf and his team. And so Ulf is basically a guru in our views on helping us building FME components that enrich actually our experience with FME, and therefore all the people that are working with FME in EA, which is about 43 of them, can use these kind of components to easily convert our data and manipulate our data. So that is where we are.
So talk a little bit about the partnership. How long have you been working together with the European Environmental Agency, and what is it that you're bringing to the table?
Yeah, it's been a number of years. I don't remember exactly.
Like 10 years?
10 years, something like that. Yeah. So what we do, as John mentioned. Yeah. Okay. John is a little bit special because you're a manager with real technological knowledge about the FME, but people in the organization are using a lot of FME, so they do the regular, easy stuff in there. What we do is we provide the services for, say, the help out with the more complicated things, running the infrastructure and so on.
Yeah.
But also to help out with making reusable little function and bits in FME that makes it easier for them to author the workflows that basically gathers environmental data in there. So it's much about making it easier for you guys to get things running smooth in there.
Yeah.
Well, and this is really all about trying to make the world a better place. And honestly, I don't think people appreciate how important data has become I think when you think about, environmental protection, it's more analog, but ultimately it's very digital. Right?
It is, yeah. And data is, it's complex because environment touches everything. If you think about it, goes to water, biodiversity, air, climate in general, and all this data needs to come together in order to create messages out.
Talk about that. Talk about how data is captured and leveraged for improving efficiencies and sustainability.
So it's quite a complex thing to explain it in a short time. But basically, what we have is we have a lot of obligations that our countries having around all aspects of data. So EA has about 200 data sets that they're asking the countries to deliver towards us. And in these obligations, we have a definition of how data should be collected, in what structure it should be delivered towards us. And that is then brought into a system that we have built ourselves, which is called ReportNet. Behind the scenes, FME is a lot in there to help us doing the quality control, ensuring that the imports are happening. If it's spatial data, that the projections are done in the right way, because every country has its own projections. Aggregation of data is happening. And then you have this kind of what we call post-processing, where data, once it's delivered, there are always errors in data sets. And especially when they come from so many different sources, you need to cleanse it. You need to prepare it in a way that it can then be used for analytical purpose. And that is a big job there, where FME plays a big role, and where we bring in other data sets that are not collected by EA, but for example by Eurostat or by Joint Research Center or from world data sets like UN.
Can you get into that a little bit? So, I mean, how do you then so it's not only the capturing of the data, but it's then and the integration of the data, but then it's the leveraging of that.
Yeah, it is. I think one aspect of it is why is it gathered? You know, and I think you have to correct me on this one, but I think one important thing, if you have this, say the European Union have this Green Deal, we are going to reduce carbon monoxide or something like that. How do you know if you succeed? I mean, you have to aggregate and collect this data to have some measurement of it. No point in having goals about the environment if you can't measure it. So I think that's one really important aspect of it.
The ultimate goal is for EA, every 5 years we are creating a report, the state of environment. And soon, in 2 years from now, we come out with a new one. And that report needs a lot of data to prove basically what is been written in that report. So,
Well, and in the end, that's how you measure progress, right? I mean, ultimately, you need a binary way to measure progress, right? Zeros and ones. You know, we ultimately need to know whether the effort is yielding a result.
Exactly.
And I think that. Is one of the reasons why you're here as well. So you've created in your partnership something that you're going to be presenting to the larger group here at this conference. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes. Like I said already before, EA is working a lot also with other European bodies in order to collect data. It would be a bit crazy to start asking countries for the same data another organization is already collecting. And Eurostat is one of those institutions that has a lot of statistics from over whole Europe. I don't know for sure, but it's about 7,000, I think.
It's more than 7,000.
More than 7,000 data sets they're having on all kinds of topics. And in order for our data to get enriched, to make it better or to improve it or to look in different ways, we are using these statistical data as well as a way of doing that. And since we are with such many people designing in FME, it is important that we do it consistently, and therefore we built a reader, can I call it like that? That allows you basically to see that data instantly in the FME environment. So in FME Forum, you can just go there, type Eurostat, and you will find a reader that allows you to go through all these data sets and immediately bring it into the desktop so that you can start combining it with your own data sets.
So what are some of the challenges with regard to creating that level of...
One of the major challenges is if you want to do an interactive user interface in this, it's been really hard before. I mean, there are preset functions and possibilities in FME, but if you want to do it really user-friendly, it's been hard. But FME introduced last year a new sort of package technology for developers like us, which made it more possible for us to make a user-friendly interface. So now you have the possibility, straight from FME, say, I want some Eurostat data. You can search for the data inside FME. Say I want financial data or interest rates, inflation, or anything like that. You can search by the keywords, and then you can browse. And here's the data I want. I can pick it in there. And it's pretty new that we as partners to FME can develop that. I shouldn't say it's super easy to do. You probably have to be a developer to do it, but now it's possible for others than just SAFE to produce that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a sort of a paradigm shift there.
Yeah.
That.
Well, I'm curious for both of your opinions about this. You know, we've reached an inflection point, I think, with artificial intelligence now and being able to leverage data in a much more powerful way. I'm curious what gets you excited about where we are in terms of, I mean, do these types of inflection points and evolutions, do they create too many new possibilities, or do you just see things as becoming easier and maybe you can do more things that you never thought you could do?
Exactly. It's never too much, we think. I mean, the complexity is so big that I honestly believe AI is going to be a toolbox for us to do things faster, better, and easier.
Yeah, I think
so
we have
we
the
are,
same mindset there.
Yeah, I do believe that we need this actually in order to get the environment moving forward, to express what is going on. We're going to need these technologies in order to make that happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, some people will say that AI is the beginning of the end of humans, right? But in the end, it may be the reason that we can save ourselves from our own demise.
That's my belief as well. Of course, we need to do it in a careful way. That's always said, but I think it will give us more benefits than trouble.
Yeah, use it in the right places, because there are, to be honest, to get a thing running like you guys do, when you collect environmental data from so many different organizations and countries, to be honest, there is a lot of boring work to be done with schemas. You know, they have these huge databases, and one country calls something one thing, another country calls it another thing. And I mean, there's a way to leverage AI to help with, you know, gather this data, because it's not the most fun work to map out.
No.
So.
Well, not for you, but for many of my colleagues, they enjoy it though.
They do, maybe.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the story that we hear over and over again is that while it seems simple and it looks easy on the outside, there's a lot of hard work that's happening underneath.
Oh yes.
And that's why a conference like this is so valuable, where you get to not only share the work that you're doing, but you get to hear some of the work that other people are doing. So, look, we appreciate you swinging by and sharing your thoughts. Best of luck with the rest of the conference, and certainly best of luck on this project.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.